Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, let us know who's joining us. Where are you from?
Yes, hi, good morning. My name is Alma Torres, and I'm currently located in Yuma, Arizona. I am a Health Disparities Project Director with the Arizona Community Health Workers Association.
Wonderful,
Nice to
welcome,
meet you.
Alma.
Thank you.
If there are others joining, welcome. Go ahead and write in the chat where you're from, or you can unmute yourself and let us know what organization you're from, or where are you calling us from.
I'm Marissa Speaker, and I'm in the AFF team lead. I'm in Prescott with Arizona Families First.
Wonderful, Marissa, welcome.
Thank you.
And Marissa, I saw, and Holly can jump in there, but I think there was just a great article out of the Prescott team, but it was focused. Did you get a chance to read that on our blog? Or when you do, it's a point of pride for Prescott. That's for sure. You guys and your teams
Oh.
are fabulous.
Oh, great. Thank you. I'm going to make sure and read it.
Now that one was Veteran Services, but we do have a great Arizona Families First blog post coming out very soon, possibly today.
Oh, good. I can't wait to see it. Probably some of the client success stories. We've been gathering those. Yeah,
Yes, yeah, and they are just so inspiring.
I know. They really are. It's good when we can get.
And good morning, Sammy. We see in the chat, Sammy's joining us as a mobile victim advocate from Chrysalis. So thank you for joining us so much.
All right, it's 10:32, and I think this may be, we want to respect everyone's time. And thank you for being on time. I see some champions on here. Jim from St. Daniel the Prophet is here. Welcome, Jim.
Hi,
Hi.
thank you.
So we see some team members as well. So welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. You know, this is our virtual program presentation 3 of 4. We have about 4 or 5, actually 6 now, because we will be highlighting our Northern Arizona programs here pretty soon. We had one a few months ago. Our next one will be in March. That will be highlighting a lot of the programs that we have up in Northern Arizona. But today's a special day. We will be highlighting our social enterprise, some of our coffee, our delicious coffee that we'll be learning about, My Sister's Place and Pathways, which is our resources and services for domestic violence, Dignity Diversion, which helps supports victims of sex trafficking, and as well as counseling. So we give you thanks for this opportunity that you're sharing with us this morning, and I hope that you find this presentation helpful. You know, as you work with people, if you are a champion volunteer, it really helps us understand the basics of each program and service. That way we can help others in this journey. But we're going to go ahead and start with a prayer so that we can start off on a right foot here. So you are welcome to join us. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Loving God, as persons made in your image, you call on us to recognize and affirm the dignity, sanctity, and value of every human being. And like the Good Samaritan, you invite us to encounter you in the mystery of each person we meet, especially those who are poor or marginalized. We thank you for the blessings you have bestowed on so many of our community's most vulnerable through the love and service of this faith-based agency. We ask you to bless its dedicated team members, volunteers, and supporters, and all who contribute with gratitude to its mission. Bless especially each of those individuals and families who turn to Catholic Charities in their hour of greatest need. Empower Catholic Charities to embrace them where they are and to help them find hope to become who they are meant to be, so that individuals grow, families thrive, and communities flourish. We ask all of this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you. So this presentation is brought to you by our volunteer parish and community engagement team. We have Melissa Gear that's going to be helping us with the chat. She'll be coming in with sharing some links, so feel free to add any questions you have on the chat. She will be there as a support to help answer them. Her information is there. If you ever need to get a hold of her, just know that information is there. Your servant leader here, Dulce Valdez, I'm the parish and diocesan manager, engagement manager manager for Catholic Charities, a lot of connections with Catholic churches. We welcome people of other faiths. We respect the backgrounds of each and every one of us. And so we're here as a faith-based agency and people of goodwill supporting. This is a great group to contact for volunteerism, in-kind donations, or presentations, an overview of all of our services. So know that we are humbly at your service. And so up next, before we start with our presentations, we want to share with you some information. So up next, we have our colleague, Wendy Owens, who's going to speak to us a little information about tax credit and a little more. So welcome, Wendy.
Thank you so much, Dulce. I'm Wendy Owens. I'm the Resource Development Manager on the Philanthropy team. And so I get to start off this morning with some really good, exciting information for this time of the year. It's tax time. We're all getting ready to file those ever important income taxes. We're blessed, though, that we live in the state of Arizona because the state of Arizona allows you the opportunity to make donations to Catholic Charities and receive a tax credit. Not a deduction, but a tax credit. It's a dollar for dollar reduction of your state taxes. And you can do it two ways with Catholic Charities. You can do it through the foster care tax credit, and that helps Catholic Charities provides important funding to all of our programs in that dollar for dollar reduction of your taxes that you give. So when you give $100, you'll also, what that'll do is that comes right back to Catholic Charities, but it reduces your taxes by that amount. You can also do it for Housing for Hope, which is the charitable contribution tax credit. And there's a difference in those dollar amounts. That amount is up to $800 for a married couple, where the foster care is $1,000. Both of those donations come in. Housing for Hope actually helps us to provide those important buildings that we need for My Sister's Place, for Manna House. It's that low-income affordable housing piece. However you'd like to give, whatever amount you can give, just know that you'll see how those dollars are used on this presentation today. We also have the opportunity for you to make a plan gift, become a legacy giver with us. And this is a fairly new program that we're really emphasizing now. You can leave us a gift in your will, you can create an annuity, but we have somebody here at Catholic Charities that's on board to help you with that. Her name is Angie. You can reach her at legacygiving@cc-org. She'd be happy to talk to you. Look forward to having you connect with her. And then one easy way, you know, with the temperatures changing, we all get those little chips in our windows, in our windshields, and all of a sudden they go to big cracks. Please know that you can easily help Catholic Charities by reaching out to Anytime Auto Glass at the number here, 480-430-4597. And you can put in the 3 programs that we actually have with them. You can highlight Manna House. So when if you have a cracked windshield, you call them, they come out, they'll help you to replace that windshield, but then they'll donate $100 to Manna House, to the Emergency Santa program, or West Side Head Start. And a little unknown secret that we're going to be spreading more of is that if you live in Flagstaff, you can also participate in this program by donating to the Northern Arizona Homeless Services. A great and easy way to help out Catholic Charities. Actually, I've given you 3 different ways. So I'm not going to stand in the way anymore of the programs because we have some great information to share. This is just 3 ways that you can help make those programs sustainable. Okay, Dulce, I'm just going to send it back to you. Thank you for that time to share.
Thank you, Wendy, so much. And if you guys have any questions about tax credit or anything you just heard, please reach out to Wendy. She is wonderful and she will definitely answer your questions. Champion volunteers. We have over 20 programs at Catholic Charities providing services in Central and Northern Arizona. And so we need the help of the community with ambassadors to be able to be at places of worship, at your Catholic church, at your business, maybe helping us in the community at schools, fairs. And so we really want to encourage and invite anyone who would love to be a champion volunteer to reach out to us. There's 3 roles that this champion does. builds relationships with people, connects and refer people, and helps spreads awareness in the community. If you are interested, give me a call. I can share more, and we would love to have you as part of our team and family here at Catholic Charities. And now for the best part of this presentation. We have some wonderful presenters with you today. We have Steve Kapobras, we have Don Curtis, Trisha Scholes, Lois Lucas, Kathy Bauer, and Anna Smith, who will be educating you today very briefly as we can, right, with this time, because there's so much to share about these wonderful programs that we have for the community. So let's get started. Our first presenter is Mr. Steve Kapobras. He will share with you about this wonderful social enterprise that we have that is open to, again, the community, businesses, Catholic churches, other places of worship, organizations. So welcome, Steve. Tell us a little bit about the Refuge Coffee.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for joining us. First of all, let me apologize for my voice. I've been dealing with some throat issues. So if you can't understand me, let me know. I'll have Wendy interpret. I bet you're wondering why Catholic Charities is involved in coffee and involved in social enterprise in the first place. I don't know if some of you remember 2008. Some of you may be too young to remember what happened to our country back in 2008. But our country got hit pretty hard economically. It really impacted our agency for the next couple of years. We lost a lot of government funding. We had to lay off quite a few people. And so it got our board really thinking about, if we're going to sustain this agency into the future, we got to start thinking a little bit more innovative, a little bit more creative. And this whole notion of social enterprise, if you want to switch to the next slide, was starting to be kicked around as a new concept that nonprofits should be taking a look at. And at the time, our board really started looking at developing more of a new model on how we as an agency should look at ourselves moving forward. And the notion of social enterprise really became a key focus of our board. And what we mean by social enterprise is there a way that we can take some market-based approaches to what we do that we could make some money off of, which in turn we could put back into our programs. And so there were two specific ways that our board decided that this was the direction we should go. One was housing. And so a lot of what I do is developing real estate, which, if you know real estate lately, real estate is a good investment. It creates a lot of wealth. And not only are we able to create wealth for the agency with real estate, but we're also able to help people, which affordable housing is a huge need. But the second way was to develop some kind of for-profit business. And the board at the time really wrestled with what kind of business should we do? So my position was created, by the way, back then, 2011, I was hired to come and do this. My position is actually called Vice President of Business Development with the sole purpose of developing things that could generate profit. So I developed the housing, but I also developed this new business that is the Refuge Cafe and Coffee. Well, we decided, and we went through a litany of all kinds of businesses, and we decided we wanted to do something that was cool. It had a cool factor, but it also could be a way to integrate some of the marketing of what we do. And so the next slide really shows you, we developed this concept of the Refuge Cafe and Refuge Coffee. And the name Refuge was a play on the refugee programs that we do to really tie in the work that we do with the refugee community, as well as give us an opportunity to engage some of our clients into the work that we do. And specifically as it relates to refugees, we actually showcase art and crafts made by local refugees within the cafe and sell them and give the profits to them. But we also have highlighted over the years different products made by different ethnic groups as a way to just tie in the work that we do. And if you've ever been in the cafe, you can see around the building that we try to help people understand that this is a business of Catholic Charities, that the profits that we make will go back into the programs to support the work that we do. The other big thing that was important to us if we went in this direction was to be like everybody else. I always say that we're going to be like the big boys. If we're going to do something, we're going to compete with the big boys. And I'm happy to say that over 8 years of doing this, we actually have established a pretty strong brand. In fact, we were voted the best coffee shop. It's not actually a voting mechanism, but this magazine went through Yelp reviews. And based on Yelp reviews, they decided what was the best coffee shop in every state. And we were picked a couple of years ago based on our reviews. So that was quite an award. So that was the thing about what we do in business is if we're going to do it, we're going to do it well. We're going to do it right. We're going to look at customer service, look at the quality of our products. And that's what we have been doing with the Refuge Coffee and Cafe. The coffee is a spin-off business that we decided to do. We have our own roaster. We've started roasting our own product, and we started selling it online and actually through wholesale mechanisms. This ribbon cutting picture that you see in the middle is actually a location that we opened in the airport, but it's not really us. It's through a licensing agreement with the owner of this business who really loved our brand, really wanted to take advantage of the brand and call it the Refuge Cafe. And so through a licensing deal with him, he buys our coffee exclusively, which has really opened up the door to other vendors. We now have 5 vendors in the airport that we sell coffee to. And so that is the direction where we want to take the coffee. But the next slide really shows you really the heart of why we do what we do. And it's really the people that have become our community. And a large part of those folks have been some of our former clients. This individual that you see on the screen is a former Manor House employee. We've done workforce training with our homeless veterans, with our refugees, with foster care youth aging out of the system. But this individual really became a permanent employee for a long time until he recently retired. And we really became his community. The picture I show down below is an example of the fact that we became his family. This was the first birthday party that he ever had in his life. And it was done by the staff of the refuge. So that is the level of community that we are trying to create and not just be a business. So moving forward, we really are asking folks to come alongside and help us. One of the reasons that we're going to need your help moving forward is I'm here today to tell you that unfortunately we're going to have to close the cafe, not because we want to or it's not doing well, but mainly because we're going to be building apartments on top of it. So we figured that site is a better use for apartments. And it's a valuable piece of real estate. And so we're going to be replacing that site with apartments. But I'm also currently exploring some opportunities to move the cafe elsewhere. I'm in discussions with the mayor of Tempe about a possible new building that they'll let us use in downtown Tempe. So we're hoping that the cafe will not go away, but the coffee will always stay. And that's where you can help us now and into the future is if you're a coffee drinker like me, you're going to love this coffee. In fact, that's what really drove me to the product in the first place was just the taste. If you could help us buy this coffee, we have an online system of you can order and we'll ship it to you. Or if you can help us find places who may want to use this coffee in their place of business or in their parish, we'd be more than happy to work with you in getting this product to your place of business or to an organization that may be interested. So again, all the profits that we make from this go directly to the programs of Catholic Charities. And again, this was a way to try to supplement funding. So we're not so dependent on others. We can be dependent on ourselves based upon how well we do in the business world. So with that, I appreciate your attention on this. And again, try our coffee.
Steve, thank you so much for this information. And I want to open this up, this opportunity for any questions that anyone has. You can write it on the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask Steve. But I think it definitely goes with improving lives one cup at a time. I love that commercial and that saying. Does anyone have any questions for Steve?
Steve, it's very, I like this. I'm a coffee drinker too, so this is very good. Glad you did this. Just a question, because I know a lot of people use that Keurig little thing, you know, that
Right.
does refugee have that at all?
Unfortunately, no. We haven't invested in that equipment. It's pretty pricey. You know, we're trying to encourage people that, you know, there's those individual things you can do.
Yeah.
But obviously down the road is something that we may want to look at. But for now,
Okay.
no.
I just wanted to ask, because I know some people have those machines, so.
Right.
But no, yeah, and this is a good thing for like, if people have a donut, coffee and donuts at church,
Right.
this is a good thing to have for the coffee. So we'll be looking at that.
Definitely. Thank you, James.
Yep.
Anyone else? Give Steve a call if you're curious, if you have other questions, if you're saying, you know, hey, maybe we can buy a bundle here. I think there can be some really great conversations that can happen to really support you in supporting us and in supporting the most vulnerable with this coffee. Well, it seems like with that, Steve, thank you so much for your time today and for sharing this information with us about the coffee. And we hope that we are able to reach different locations and parishes and the community to help us. So thank you so much, Steve. All right, our next presenter is going to be Dawn Curtis. We have two individuals that will be speaking about our resources that we have on domestic violence. So first up, we have Dawn Curtis. Welcome, Dawn.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. So just an introduction. So My Sister's Place is a 30-bed shelter located in the East Valley. We were founded in 1985 for the unmet need for victims of domestic violence in this part of the valley that were experiencing domestic violence and needed assistance. So we assist men, women, and children that are fleeing domestic violence and need a safe place to seek refuge while they are hopefully negotiating their case plan and getting into a life free of abuse. So as you all know, domestic violence is an epidemic in our communities, and even we can all just recently even comment on the what happened in the Phoenix area even last week with 9 officers being injured during a domestic violence call. So in 2021, according to the Arizona Coalition to End Sexual and Domestic Violence, there are 82 confirmed DV fatalities in Arizona. So unfortunately, due to the pandemic, there was an increased need for people seeking services for domestic violence. Oftentimes during the lockdown, individuals that maybe had time away from their abusive partners ended up being in the house with them all day long. And with obviously job loss and economic, situations that were occurring, that escalated the calls locally to the Phoenix Police Department. Even they have seen the rise in 911 calls. And as far as prevalence goes, 1 in 4 women will experience a sexual violence, physical violence, and or stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime, and 1 in 10 men may experience the same type of either the sexual violence, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner. So as you know, it is ongoing and is a very high need in the community. So what we try to do in shelter, when they come into shelter, we try to provide them with a safe and secure setting. Families reside with their children in their own rooms. There's a few common areas such as the kitchen and a community eating area, but otherwise each client and or their family members has their own room to reside and work their case plan and just have some time to process, you know, what needs to be getting done for them to lead a life free of abuse. So how we do that is through the main component when they enter shelter is safety planning. So safety planning is really paramount, working with individuals experiencing domestic violence because they may still have to see the offending partner either possibly through orders of protection or contested orders of protection and or child visiting time that has to be worked out in family court. So safety planning is very important. We go over that quite extensively with clients upon entering shelter and then weekly as they visit us for their case management sessions. And during the case management sessions, also, we work with clients to establish goals that they want to achieve while they're residing in shelter. And that goes from typically if individuals need employment and or housing resources, we try to work with clients on resume development, job readiness, securing daycare, securing their government benefits. Oftentimes individuals come with no ID, birth certificates, forms of identification. So we have to help clients get those types of things because all of that will help them further on with their case plan. We have counseling available to the clients if they're interested in that. We offer support groups a couple of times a week for children and or adults residing in shelter. And that is to educate them on the effects of domestic violence on individuals and families. And then also we have designated children's case manager to help the parents work with their kids. The impact on children are individuals who witness intimate partner violence. Those children are twice as more likely to become victims or perpetrators themselves. So it's really important that we try to educate the families and the parents on the effects that this can have on their children to keep them safe in the future. And so I would say our current needs right now listed on the slide is if we can do any sort of bedroom supplies, but specifically like twin sheet sets, twin plastic covers for the beds, blankets, laundry supplies. We go through it a lot. Diapers that are listed there, the larger sizes 4, 5, and 6 we're always in need of, and unscented baby wipes and or cleaning supplies. I mean, these things we go through a lot. We do have a hotline for individuals experiencing domestic violence that is listed on the slide, and that is a 24-hour hotline. So anyone that needs to call for help or is seeking shelter, they can call the hotline. Our Pathways program that Tricia will talk about offers those same types of services to individuals that reside in the community with friends and family. But right now I'll pass it off to Tricia and she'll kind of talk a little bit more about the Pathways program. Thank you.
Thanks, Dawn. Good morning, everybody. My name is Tricia Schultz. I am one of the 2 mobile victim advocates that is part of the Pathways program, like Dawn explained. And we have our counselor, Roxana, who also sees clients at the shelter, but she also sees our community clients, and I'll explain what that is in a sec. So we're a small team, but we're pretty fierce because we serve a lot of clients in the community. So Dawn obviously just chatted about My Sister's Place, which is one of our domestic violence programs, the emergency shelter portion. The other domestic violence program Catholic Charities has is the Pathways program, and we're community-based mobile victim advocacy. So the Pathways program was started in 1999, and really this was established to respond to longer term needs and goals outside of shelter for survivors of domestic violence. And so while we do see clients to work on them with some of the stuff that our program specifically does at My Sister's Place, we also serve the broader community in Maricopa County, usually mostly the East Valley, but with virtual, we've been able to do a lot more things lately that aren't residing in shelter and that have those longer term needs and goals related to domestic violence. So really our job is to walk alongside clients to see what their needs are and help them get to safety, whatever safety means to them. When we talk about victim advocacy, we do anything from case management, which is trying to do a needs assessment with clients, trying to assess what stage of the relationship they're in. Are they trying to stay? Are they trying to leave? And basically just trying to connect them with any resources or services that make sense for them at that time. We do safety planning similar to what Dawn was chatting about, but for wherever the client is at, that's our job, is to meet them where they're at. Are we safety planning around them staying? Are we safety planning around them getting ready to leave, just getting out of their abusive relationship? So that's a lot of what we do. And as advocates, we provide a lot of assistance in filing orders of protection. So if someone is in an abusive situation and they meet the criteria to file a protective order, we can help them with the whole process. We can help them navigate the online portion, and we can walk alongside them and go in court to be that supportive piece to help them manage this really overwhelming court system, to be there for the order of protection. Something that's not on there that's really new and is super cool is we are now establishing a really awesome new partnership with the Chandler Municipal Court in order to be able to offer certain clients the ability to file a protective order virtually and not having to go into that, really chaotic court setting, especially if they're out of a traumatic situation. So that's a really exciting new thing that our program has to offer. We do court accompaniment as advocates. Even though we're not attorneys and we can never give legal advice, we can still be there to help them navigate court, be that emotional support piece. We can help refer them to legal resources, especially family court. That's typically what we're most going to be involved in. That's a direct result of the domestic violence. We're able to help clients assess what their needs are, figure out what their options are. And we can also help clients guide them through that process, whether it's filing for legal decision-making, parenting time in custody of any shared children, whether it's filing for a divorce from the abuser. Even though we're not attorneys, we can still provide a lot of helpful resources and information for clients to be able to make, educated choices for themselves. We can also help clients enroll in the address confidentiality program. As a survivor of domestic violence, if they have moved on to a safe space and they want to keep their address protected, the mobile victim advocates are trained in it, and we've received our certification to help clients get that confidential address. So that's another service that sometimes clients come to us for. And we also can help with victims' rights and victims' compensation. So if the survivor is a victim of a crime, we can help walk them through what their rights are, especially if the abuser is being charged and the prosecutor is bringing charges against them. We can help them navigate so they understand the steps and the stages and what their rights are. We can also help them file for compensation as a result of the crime. And something that makes our program really unique is we have some financial assistance that clients can be eligible for. When we're talking about things like transportation and our education vocation fund, any survivor of domestic violence can come to us for one-time assistance. That can be a gas card or a bus pass if they're trying to get to an interview, if they're trying to reestablish themselves and get to work. We can help with the one-time gas card. That's what we're here for. For our education and vocation, if you have a survivor of domestic violence, who's trying to get their GED, we can help pay for the certification of that class. As far as housing and court filing fees, these are reserved for imminent danger situations where a client is actively in a domestic violence situation, they're trying to leave. If they're trying to get to safety, we can help with a one-time assistance with housing towards that deposit. That can be really helpful and life-changing for a client who just needs that leg up to get into a safe space. And for court filing fees, again, if the client is in an imminent danger situation, we can help with the one-time filing fee so that they can get that stuff started, to separate themselves from their abusers. Other things that we do, we have counseling, as Dawn mentioned, that's free for survivors of domestic violence. And we also run our support groups virtually right now, which is really amazing. We have paused the Spanish speaking groups at the moment, but our English speaking groups are running every Wednesday and Thursday from 5:30 to 7 virtually. If anyone's interested, all they have to do is reach out. They do a really brief screening with us and we can get them connected with those services. And so I'll leave you with a very short story of a client that we were able to assist, just so you can get an understanding of what survivors come to us with, what the needs they have. So Elena was a Spanish speaking client who came to us. I'm the bilingual advocate, but we serve clients with all languages with their language line, just so you know. She had fled from an abusive situation, and we were able to help her with housing assistance to get into a safe space. We were able to hold her hand throughout those hearings that she was required to be at as a result of having to face her abuser, who was having charges pressed against him by the prosecution. And we were able to be there the whole time to assist her with her victim's impact statement and just be that familiar face in that courtroom to sit next to her when she was going through some of the scariest moments of her life, having to face her abuser again. We were also able to work to refer her to our Familias Unidas immigration clinic so that she could help the information that she needed in order to start processing, her legal status. And we were able to work with Tempe Care 7 because we're very collaborative to kind of get her started on that process as far as a result of the crime that had occurred. And we were also there alongside her to help her file that initial order of protection. And when that order of protection was being violated, we were able to step in and make sure she knew what her rights were and advocate for her to go and make those police reports. So that's just an example of a client who came to us and her greatest hour of need and all of the different supports that we were able to provide to her to kind of help begin that path to healing. So I'll go ahead and leave it at that. I really appreciate it. If anyone has any questions at all, you can reach out. And as far as needs go, we don't necessarily have like the same needs at the shelters, but the need that we have is we're looking to build meaningful partnerships in the community with services that our clients can benefit from. So we're looking to build those meaningful relationships with any legal resources that are willing to do free consults for our clients, especially in family courts. And we've recently been kicking around the idea of having, some businessware for our clients to go to court, interviews, and jobs. So that's something new that we're thinking about too. So thanks.
Trisha, thank you so much for that wealth of information. And just a friendly reminder to everyone, we are more than happy to send you that Pathways form flyer by email, or we can make some copies and send them over to you to share with the people that you serve. We do also have bilingual brochures of My Sister's Place as well, that has all of this information all together as well, that we can send to you to have available at your schools, at your parish, at your place of worship, in your community. So we are more than welcome to share this information with you. And just like Trisha said as well, community education. We've seen some of these team members go out to ministries, to fairs, to present, to educate the community on these services. And so if you are interested in welcoming Trisha or someone from the team, Dawn, to come and speak, they are more than welcome to and can definitely come and help educate the community. And then tie in a call of action there to help them with some of the needs that they're currently wanting some help with. So I want to leave this opportunity for questions. Is there anyone who has any questions for Trisha or for Dawn? You're more than welcome to add it to the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask them right at this moment if you have any.
Trisha, did you you mentioned about partnering with other people, did you try to contact St. Vincent de Paul? I know they have legal services and they might be also be able to help with you.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I know that we partner with St. Vincent de Paul to refer clients for other needs, but to be honest, I didn't know that they did any legal services. So I'll definitely be sure to look into that. I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you.
I guess one of the things that we encounter on domestic violence is trying to get the person to, call the hotline or whatever. They just seem like they don't want to make that step. And so it's a difficult thing. You try to help them, but they've got to do it. And that's the experience we've had at some of these things. The other thing is, Dawn, if we're going to send any of these supplies in, do we contact you? Or, if we have like laundry baskets and detergent and diapers, unscented wipes, how do you want us to get that to you?
You can certainly reach out to Dulce or myself, or just
Okay.
hotline number, and we can make arrangements to pick it up. That's no problem.
Okay, thanks.
And Jim, I also added in there for any of you interested on any of the programs today or otherwise, we have charity lists that we work with each of our programs to make sure that we're updating them. And then you can go on to Amazon from your own home, order those, and they get directly delivered to the locations we have. So I put that up in the chat. You're welcome to look there, but Dulce is a great contact to get you connected. And thank you for asking, Jim.
Okay. How is that supply anyway? If I'm going to go to my, like I'm over our St. Vincent de Paul conference, and we make donations sometimes to other needy conferences, St. Vincent de Paul. But if we were going to help Catholic Charities, well, yeah, my wife just said I can't. Well, we can do it personally. We just can't take it.
We can connect Jim too, and see how we can work together. Maybe there's a way we can involve the parishioners as well, or
right.
in any other way. So, and we also offer bulletin announcements that we can post. And it goes back to the question that you said, James. Sometimes it does take a while for someone in the situation to reach out for help. But I think sometimes the not knowing what can happen, it's definitely a big fear that a lot of these victims have. And so, I mean, Trisha, Dawn, if you want to share something, but it takes a while for someone, but I think having that invitation there for them to see that when they're ready to make that call, they at least know where to start. So I think having this information available and being more aware of it can definitely, make that pathway. So when they are ready, they know where to go.
Right. And can you send me some more brochures, like you mentioned, Dulce? Thanks.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Great questions. Thank you so much. Well, Dawn and Trisha, thank you so much for being with us today and letting us know about My Sister's Place and Pathways and the great work that you're doing alongside the most vulnerable people that we're serving. So thank you so much for your time. Up next, we have our Dignity Diversion program. And this is a program that we have that supports and helps our victims of sex trafficking. And so with us today, we have Kathy Bauer and Lois Lucas. And so I want to welcome first Kathy to speak a little bit about this program. Welcome, Kathy. Are you muted, Kathy?
Sorry about that. It's just a mistake I'm always making. Thank you, everybody, for being here and showing so much interest in our programs today. We really appreciate it. The diversion program, Dignity Diversion Program, is in partnership with the City of Phoenix. That partnership started over 21 years ago, and it's been going strong ever since. We really work with, I would say, one of the most disenfranchised segments and vulnerable segments of our community. As you can imagine, there's a lot of judgment and a lot of different things surrounding this particular issue. Over the years, what we have seen is and it includes men too. I tend to say women, but there are men involved. We just don't tend to see as many at our program. I don't know if it's because they're more embarrassed or what the reason is, but we mainly do see women. And I was just looking at some figures from my last fiscal report. And we've gotten to the point now, you guys, that 30%, over 70% of our clients are under the age of 30. So it's definitely gotten to be a very young population. And it's a challenging population to work with. As we all know, at that age, it's really difficult to, get people to do what you want them to do. Our personal approach is peer-based. Many of us that work at the program have worked at the program, facilitate groups, are people that have survived many of the things that the girls have survived. So that creates a rapport that is really important. We basically, what we try to do is we're more like we plant seeds. We're realistic. It is court ordered, so people aren't coming through the door, yay, saved my life. They're coming because Phoenix has minimum mandatory jail time for them. And so they come so they don't have to go to jail. And hopefully somewhere along our program, they start to learn things about themselves. They start to see their worth more, and there's opportunities for them. And that is really what we try to do for them. Part of our program now, because everything has changed, we're doing things virtually. We do, every client must attend a 1-week class. It's a 20-hour virtual class where we touch on many subjects. Childhood trauma is a big one. We talk about domestic violence. We talk about addiction. Many of our clients who may not be addicts themselves, but who have had parents that are addicts, and the effect that will have on a child in your future decision-making. We're fortunate with Anna Smith from counseling. She's always makes sure we have a group of people to do our trauma-related groups that are done once weekly. Lois basically is in charge of our support group, where we get speakers to come back to share their experiences and their successes with the other participants. Most of our facilitators have been with us for years, and they really are specialists in working with this population. I think one of the best ways we can do, I could talk all day about people, a program and stuff, but I do believe Dulcie has a video that we made from a past client, and I think that will speak more than it's anything I can say to you guys. Do we want to show that now, Dulcie?
Traumatizing. Like, did you know those clamps where you spin it and it presses together like that? It's like you're in the center of that clamp and you can't move. You can't get around it. You really feel hopeless. helping this program, you could save lives. You could literally save lives. You could bring people off the streets that may have just been on their way to death. I mean, that's pretty traumatic, but it's real.
That was a very touching story, Kathy. And, this is also another pandemic. I know right now, earlier, our speakers, Don and Tricia, talked about that being a pandemic, and this is also an added pandemic, right? We've seen an increase in human trafficking, as well as sex trafficking. And it's so difficult. It is so difficult to hear all of this. But that's why a program like this exists, among others. And so, what ways can we help? And I know we have Lois that can probably speak to us of, I know that there's a survey that's done after this program is completed. And I know that she probably has some great comments that can share with us, of hope for these individuals. Welcome, Lois.
Thank you. I'm Lois Lucas, and I'm an intake specialist here at the program. We do take a pre and post survey, one before they start the program and one at the end, to see what they have learned and what changing for them, life changing for them. And some of the things that we asked them, can you identify things that you've learned about yourself? And some of the comments have been, there's no price on my life. I'm worthy of a different path. I'm a survivor, no longer a victim. I was humbled by this program. The lifestyle can be gotten out of with a little bit of help. There is always someone's situation worse than mine. I learned my triggers and my fallbacks here. I was following the wrong people to my detriment, and I learned how to get away from that. I am not a money sign. I learned to use grounding techniques that I learned here in class. I am worth it. I can raise my baby alone because I'm already doing it. I think this lets you know that people are being moved, lives are being changed by this program. Some of the current needs we have are snacks. The girls are hungry. We need individual size snacks. We listed a couple things up there. Definitely hygiene items. We'd like to have some shampoo on hand and conditioner and some soap and maybe some razors, things like that. Feminine hygiene products are big. There's a whole list of things, put it up, that we are in need of if you wanted to help. Thank you so much for listening today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kathy and Lois, for sharing this information with us. And know that this is definitely an opportunity to help support in some of these different areas that Lois just shared. And I'm very moved by some of the comments I just heard. Lois, it definitely, it's hard. I know before Kathy was sharing as well that, in LA, there is a big street in LA that's as big now as the street here on 27th Avenue that ranges from like south of Northern, all the way probably up to McDowell or
Yes.
Thomas, somewhere in that area. And so it is getting very dangerous. It is getting very dangerous. But we must keep a lot of these individuals in our prayers, and continue the fight against this, for every individual. And right now, when I heard the comment of hanging around the wrong crowd, around the wrong people, we need to care for our children. We need to take care of them and watch out for those of our friends who probably has children, and we have to watch over them as well, to help each other out. So I want to open it up for questions from the community that you have for Lois or Kathy. Does anyone have any questions? You can put it on the chat as well. I know this is a touchy program. All right. Well, if you guys ever have any programs, if you're interested in hosting a drive in your business, at your parish, to help some of these, reach out to me, and we can definitely connect you with Kathy. But thank you so much, Kathy and Lois, for this information and for being with us today.
Yeah, I'd just like to close with one thing, if I may.
Absolutely.
I think the most important thing as a community, because it can be dangerous to get too involved with people if you don't know what you're doing. I think it's just look at yourselves and try not to be judgmental. You'd be surprised how many of these young ladies have children. With rents going up the way they are, it's really hard. They have to make some tough decisions. Not most of them don't have the family support. So I think that's really important. If you're in an opportunity where you have employment opportunities, think about giving people a chance, even if they've made mistakes in their lives. For me personally, Catholic Charities saved my life. They not only saved my life, but they gave me a life, and it changed the trajectory of my life completely. So, I mean, those are the things as human beings that we can do.
I think I couldn't have said it better, Kathy. Thank you so much for sharing and for being with us and talking to us about these individuals. I think that judgmental part, we think of it so easily at times, but we just never know what shoes they're walking in. So thank you so much to the both of you for the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with all of this, especially with the pandemic and everything, what can we do? And I know we're coming to a close here, but our last program that we have, you know, with domestic violence at its rise because of this COVID-19, you know, sex trafficking. I think it was really nice that it all worked out as how can we help individuals that we meet and we come across, and counseling, mental health is definitely something very, very important. So as we close, and this is the last program that we have presenting, Anna, I welcome you to speak to us about our counseling services and how we can direct others in need to this service. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me here. My name is Anna Smith. I'm the Senior Program Manager here for the counseling program. And I've been with Catholic Charities and this counseling program for almost 19 years now. So this program is very dear to my heart. And so we offer counseling services to everybody in the community, whether they're coming off the streets or they're in parishes or from all different backgrounds. The topics that we work with in counseling is across the board. We've worked with clients that have come in for abuse issues such as emotional, physical, sexual, verbal abuse. Adolescent behaviors. We are seeing a rise in our adolescents that are coming through here through the counseling program here at Catholic Charities, and minors. And so we work with a lot of different behavior issues with adolescents. And with the pandemic, I just wanted to make a quick note is that we're seeing a rise in mental health issues, especially anxiety and depression. And I think that's the reason why we're seeing a big rise in adolescents and minors coming in through the counseling program, because the children are really struggling with anxiety from being locked down and then coming back to school. But we're also seeing it with our adults. So we have a high population of anxiety and depression. We work with families and couples. So, you know, we work with a lot of communication issues, sometimes divorce, family conflict, grief and loss. We've had a lot of clients coming in really focusing on grief, and some of it might be COVID related, and others is just the grief and losses that happens in life. Parenting issues, a lot of self-esteem issues, stress management, and even some substance abuse. Our counseling program, we don't do intensive substance abuse. We do more aftercare, but we have a lot of clients that come in with some underlying substance abuse. The one thing about the counseling program is if it's something that we don't offer, we also really work with the clients to help find resources outside of maybe our program that will help benefit them. And sometimes that's connection with the counseling services. You know, when I was working with clients, we would refer clients back to their pastor for spiritual guidance. And then we would work closely with the counselor with the counseling piece. We've had clients that were referred from parishes for counseling. So at this time, we're doing mostly virtual sessions. We do have a couple in person right now at my main office, which is on 19th and Camelback. I almost said Northern, and that was been a while. So 19th and Camelback, and we do when we're in person, we're located throughout the valley. We're located in different parishes. At this time, we do have 3 parishes we're located. We're located at OLPH in Scottsdale, St. Patrick's in Scottsdale, and then St. Thomas More. We have a counselor located at those 3 parishes. But we're open to work with any of the parishes. We're a great resource for parishes. If you have questions or you have a parishioner that is in need of counseling services, or you're not really sure what kind of services are available, please reach out to us. You can contact me at my email. You can contact our intake secretary, and we can see if we can help find resources for people. So our counseling fees are on a sliding scale based on family income and family size. We do take some access plans. Right now we take Mercy Care, Banner University, and Molina Complete Care. We do have a little bit of funding to be able to help clients if maybe they are struggling financially right now. And so we've been able to give some free sessions to help get them started with counseling. And one thing on the current needs is, you know, journals and relief kits are excellent. With the counseling program, that financial support is really important, those donations. And so what we're looking for is donations or grants even to help continue being able to give some of these sessions to the clients, because the funding that we have for that will come to an end at some point at the end of this fiscal year. And so if anybody knows anyone that has grant opportunities, you know, I'm open to really kind of putting the work in to do that, to help the clients that we serve. I think so. That kind of leads us into the Hope Bot. So this is a project that we just started a couple months ago, about 9 months now. And it's a connection between Catholic Charities here in Phoenix and Catholic Charities USA. And what it is it's a text app for people who might be feeling anxious or depressed and just need someone to reach out to. Right now, with the rise in mental health, people don't know what to do or where to turn. And this is a really great starting point for people. And right now, texting is on the rise, especially with our younger generation. And like Kathy said, 70% are under 30. And so most of the clients now are texting. And so it's a way to connect with someone. And what happens is if you are texting and you put words or you put certain things in there that maybe indicate suicide or extreme, a higher concern, it'll connect you to a live person to help work you through that, at least to process a bit with you. And then they'll give you referral sources to our counseling program. So on here, if you're interested, and this is for everybody in the community, we're trying to get the word out there. This is a great start. So if someone would like to use this, and you can use this yourself, I actually use this app. The one nice thing is it remembers you. So every so often my text will go off and I'll read this text that says, sometimes you feel lonely. How are you feeling today? And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, that's the Hope app. So it reaches out to just check on you every so often to make sure you're doing okay. So what you do is you text hi to 1-202-949-7249. And when prompted, there's a start code of CCCSAZ. And that helps kind of know which area it's coming from, because there's 4 different Catholic charities throughout the nation that are involved in this project. And so we're hoping to get the word out there so that we can get more people calling in, because it is a really great app. Well, it's not really an app, but I kind of went into this already, so we could, little things like journals and relief kits. The other thing too is we are located in some of the Catholic schools. So I have some counselors that go into the school and do some adjustment counseling. And that's where the journals and the art supplies really come in handy to be able to kind of take to the children. But mostly that financial needs donations, grants, and that sort. Trying to think if I missed anything.
I think it was perfect, Anna. Anna, we know that we also have quarterly wonderful presentation workshops that focuses on different things. I think the last one was about cultivating relationships with others. And our next one is going to be in May. And what's the topic that's going to be presenting in May, Anna?
So May is Mental Health Month. So we're doing Mental Health and Coping 101. And so I have my counselors do these presentations each quarter, which is very wonderful for them to have that opportunity. And then to put a face to our counselors. And so I have different counselors each time do these presentations. And so it kind of helps put a face. These are the counselors that are working with our clients.
Wonderful, Anna. And again, we have bulletin announcements. We have bilingual material. We're more than happy to send you this Hope Bot flyer so you can share with others. So let us know, give us a call, and we are more than happy to send this material with you. I know we're coming to a close. Does anyone have any questions for Anna? You can put them on the chat or unmute yourself and go right ahead.
Hi, I really don't have a question, but I do have a comment. Probably, I don't know exactly how long ago, but I'm a member of St. Patrick's, and Father Eric had someone come in and speak to all the masses about mental health and the issue of it. And this might be something that other parishes might want to consider in regards to just getting it out there to the entire parish. He dedicated, I can't remember when it was. It might have been the end of December, first part of January, but it was really a powerful person from a licensed counselor. She came in and she was very dynamic. So this as a thought to get this out there even more.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
I also know that St. Patrick's last year did a fish fry to help the counseling program.
Yes, they did.
If people have those ideas for the different parishes, send them our way. And if you have any questions or concerns from some of your parishioners, please reach out to our counseling program. We're happy to help see if we can find resources or if it fits with our counseling program.
Thank you so much, Anna, for this information that I think is crucial for the entire community. Well, thank you so much, Anna, for being with us today.
Thank you.
With that, we have our call to action. Definitely refer anyone in need to Catholic Charities. If you're not sure what's the rest of the services that we have them give us a call. We have our toll-free 800 number, or you can visit our website, catholiccharities.az.org, for the list of the rest of the services and these services that we have. And with that, we conclude today's program presentation 3 of 4. We will be having one again next month to feature our Northern Arizona program. So look out for an email. There will be also a follow-up email after this program presentation with a survey and to welcome any questions or comments you might have. If there's something that you learned today, put it in the chat. And we truly appreciate you joining us today. So thank you so much, and may all have a blessed day. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you later.